We live in a world saturated with connection. Everywhere we look, people are glued to their screens, constantly interacting with others through social media, messaging apps, and various online platforms. Social media feeds buzz with activity. Notifications ping incessantly, drawing our attention to the latest updates, likes, and comments. Yet, beneath this veneer of hyperconnectivity, a different story unfolds. Despite being more connected than ever, many of us feel more isolated and alone. A silent epidemic is sweeping the globe, leaving a trail of devastation in its wake. This epidemic is not caused by a virus or bacteria, but by a profound sense of loneliness. This is the story of loneliness. It's a feeling that can affect anyone, regardless of age, gender, or background. Loneliness is more than just feeling alone. It's a deep, pervasive sense of disconnection from others, a feeling that no one truly understands or cares. It's a profound sense of disconnection, a gnawing emptiness that whispers of not belonging. It's the feeling of being surrounded by people, yet feeling completely invisible. It's the ache in your chest when you scan a crowded room and feel utterly unseen. It's the sense of being on the outside, looking in, never quite fitting in. It's the heavy silence in your apartment after a long day, a stark reminder of the void in your life. It's the longing for meaningful connections that seem just out of reach. This isn't just a personal struggle. Loneliness has far-reaching implications for our mental and physical health. Loneliness has become a global health crisis, as pervasive as obesity and as deadly as smoking. It increases the risk of various health issues, including depression, anxiety, heart disease, and even premature death. It's time to break the silence and shed light on this hidden epidemic. We need to start conversations, build communities, and create spaces where people feel seen and heard. We must understand its causes, recognize its signs, and most importantly, find ways to overcome it. This involves fostering genuine connections, reaching out to those who are struggling and offering support, and most importantly, find ways to overcome it. We need to prioritize mental health, encourage open dialogue, and create environments where people can connect on a deeper level. This is our shared responsibility, a chance to rebuild a world where connection thrives and no one has to suffer in silence. Together we can combat loneliness and create a more connected, compassionate world. Loneliness is a chameleon, taking on different forms and disguises. It can sneak up on you in the most unexpected places and moments, often when you least expect it. It's not always about being physically alone. Sometimes it's about feeling isolated even when you're surrounded by a sea of faces, each one a stranger to your inner world. You can be surrounded by people, family, colleagues, even friends, and still feel utterly disconnected. It's a paradox that many of us experience but rarely talk about. There are two main types of loneliness, social and emotional. Each has its own unique pain and challenges, affecting us in different but equally profound ways. Social loneliness is the ache of missing a broader social network, a sense of belonging to a group or community. It's the feeling of being on the outside looking in, yearning for connection. Imagine moving to a new city, starting a new job, or losing touch with your old friends. That's the territory of social loneliness. It's a landscape where familiar faces are few and far between. Then there's emotional loneliness, a deeper yearning for close, intimate connection. It's the void left by the absence of someone who truly understands you, who gets you on a soul-deep level. This is the absence of a best friend, a confidant, a partner who truly sees and understands you. It's the kind of loneliness that can make even the most vibrant moments feel hollow. Picture a crowded Thanksgiving table where everyone's laughing and sharing stories, but you feel invisible, your heart heavy with unspoken words. It's a silent struggle that many endure. The causes of loneliness are as varied as the people it affects. It's a universal experience, yet deeply personal, shaped by our individual circumstances and life stories. Life transitions like moving, changing jobs, or the death of a loved one can rip apart our social fabric. These moments of change can leave us feeling unmoored, searching for new connections. Societal shifts, from the decline of traditional communities to the rise of individualistic cultures, have also played their part. In our fast-paced world, it's easy to feel left behind, struggling to keep up with the ever-changing social landscape. Loneliness isn't just an emotional state, it's a biological alarm bell, a warning sign that our fundamental human need for connection is under threat. Our bodies are wired for connection, and when that need is unmet, the consequences can be devastating. Imagine loneliness as a chronic stressor, like a low hum of anxiety that never quite goes away. This constant state of alert takes a toll on our physical and mental health. Studies have linked loneliness to a higher risk of heart disease, stroke, diabetes, and even dementia. It's not just our physical health that suffers. Loneliness is a breeding ground for mental health issues. Depression, anxiety, and addiction often find fertile ground in the soil of loneliness. The link is undeniable. When we feel alone, our mental well-being takes a nosedive. Loneliness is a master of disguise, often lurking beneath the surface, masked by other emotions or behaviors. It can be hidden behind a smile, a busy schedule, or even a seemingly content life. Many people who appear to have it all together might be struggling with feelings of isolation and disconnection, but there are telltale signs, subtle shifts in our thoughts, feelings, and actions that can alert us to its presence. These signs can be easy to miss if we're not paying close attention, but they are there, quietly signaling that something is amiss. One of the most common signs is withdrawal. This can manifest in various ways, such as pulling away from friends and family, or losing interest in activities that once brought joy. When we're lonely, we tend to isolate ourselves, avoiding social situations and interactions that might deepen our pain. We might decline invitations, cancel plans, or make excuses to stay home. This self-imposed isolation can create a vicious cycle, making us feel even more alone, or spend more and more time alone, lost in our own thoughts. This solitude can lead to overthinking and rumination, which only exacerbates feelings of loneliness and despair. Emotionally, loneliness often manifests as a persistent feeling of emptiness, a void that can't be filled. We might feel sad, hopeless, or even numb, as if we're just going through the motions of life without truly living. A void that can't be filled. We might feel sad, as if a heavy weight is pressing down on our hearts, making it hard to breathe or find joy in anything. Hopeless, or even numb, disconnected from ourselves and the world around us. This emotional numbness can make it difficult to connect with others even when we want to, disconnected from ourselves and the world around us. It's like a grey cloud has settled over our lives, dulling our colours and stealing our joy. This pervasive sense of disconnection can make everything feel more challenging and less meaningful. It's like a grey cloud has settled over our lives, casting a shadow over everything we do. This cloud can make it hard to see the beauty and potential in our lives, leaving us feeling stuck and hopeless, dulling our colors and stealing our joy. It's important to recognize these feelings and understand that they are valid. Acknowledging our loneliness is the first step towards addressing it. It's important to distinguish between temporary loneliness, which we all experience from time to time, and chronic loneliness, which is more persistent and debilitating. Temporary loneliness can occur after a significant life change, such as moving to a new city or ending a relationship, which we all experience from time to time, and chronic loneliness, which is more persistent and debilitating. Chronic loneliness can have serious impacts on our mental and physical health, leading to issues such as depression, anxiety, and even heart disease, which is more persistent and debilitating. Occasional feelings of loneliness are like a passing shower, unpleasant but temporary. They remind us of our need for connection and can motivate us to reach out to others. Occasional feelings of loneliness are like a passing shower, unpleasant but temporary. They come and go, allowing us to appreciate the sunny days even more. Chronic loneliness, on the other hand, is like a relentless downpour, soaking us to the core and making it difficult to see the sun. It can feel never-ending, leaving us drenched in sadness and despair, soaking us to the core and making it difficult to see the sun. But just as the rain eventually stops and the sun breaks through the clouds, there is hope. Recognizing the signs of loneliness is the first step towards finding connection and joy once again.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.
Loneliness can feel like a double-edged sword. On one hand, it can be a source of deep personal pain. On the other, it can drive us to seek meaningful connections and personal growth. Understanding this duality is crucial in addressing the issue. Each of us holds an incredible power within to combat loneliness. It's about recognizing our worth, fostering self-compassion, and reaching out to others. By tapping into this inner strength, we can transform our lives and the lives of those around us. Seeking help is a sign of strength, not weakness. Whether it's through friends, family, or professional resources, reaching out is the first step towards healing. Equally important is offering support to others. Sometimes a simple act of kindness can make all the difference. We are all in this together. By building a community of understanding and empathy, we can create a world where no one feels alone. Remember, together we are stronger and more resilient.